Have you ever felt like you're not good enough when comparing yourself to others on social media? Or maybe you find yourself caught in a cycle of self-doubt, wondering why others seem happier and more successful than you. If you've ever had these thoughts, then today's video is exactly what you need. In this digital age, it's easy to measure our self-worth based on standards set by others. Social media, workplace competition, and societal expectations push us into an endless race, leaving our minds restless and exhausted. But did you know that true peace doesn't come from outshining others, but from understanding and appreciating yourself? Buddhism has long pointed out a simple yet profound truth. Only when you stop comparing can you find true happiness. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This teaching holds the key to breaking free from the pressures of comparison, allowing you to live a life of inner peace and fulfillment. Stay until the end of this video, because you'll discover practical steps to stop comparing and regain inner tranquility. And don't forget to comment below. Have you ever been trapped in the cycle of comparison? How did you overcome it? Share your thoughts with us. The illusion of comparison. 1. The psychological trap of comparing ourselves to others. In modern society, people are constantly influenced by external standards of success and happiness. Social media, the media, and daily interactions create an environment where individuals continuously compare themselves to others. This comparison may seem like a natural reflex, but in reality, it is a psychological trap that leads to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and relentless pressure. The nature of comparison stems from the desire for recognition. We seek societal approval and feel a sense of worth when our achievements match or surpass those of others. Additionally, the fear of being left behind plays a significant role in fueling this behavior. In a world that constantly moves forward, failing to reach similar milestones as those around us can lead to anxiety and the belief that we are falling short. More importantly, we tend to measure our self-worth based on external accomplishments rather than internal growth. Wealth, status, and reputation are often seen as indicators of success, while inner peace, wisdom, and compassion, the true sources of happiness, are often overlooked. Buddhism teaches that this comparison is an illusion because it is based on temporary and ever-changing factors. The principle of impermanence, anicca, in Buddhism asserts that everything in life is transient, nothing is permanent. Success and failure, joy and sorrow, all are fleeting moments. When we tie our happiness to external factors, we are inevitably controlled by their fluctuations, leading to a cycle of expectations and disappointments. A person may feel proud of their success today but may feel inadequate tomorrow upon seeing someone achieve even more. Therefore, true happiness does not lie in comparison or accomplishments but in self-awareness and the ability to appreciate one's own journey. 2. The root of suffering, attachment. According to Buddhist philosophy, suffering, dukkha, originates from attachment. When we become overly focused on others, we develop a dependence on their recognition and success, making ourselves vulnerable to insecurity and emotional distress. This attachment stems from the false belief that our worth is determined by how others perceive us, leading to a cycle of dissatisfaction and self-doubt. The consequences of clinging to external validation are profound. First, it creates a never-ending loop of discontentment. The moment we achieve something, we look around and see others who have done more, achieved greater, or received more praise. Instead of feeling fulfilled, we immediately set new, often unrealistic, standards based on external comparisons. This pursuit of approval traps us in a cycle where happiness is always one step away, never truly attainable because it is dependent on factors beyond our control. Second, this attachment prevents us from appreciating our own journey. When we constantly compare our progress to others, we fail to recognize the uniqueness of our own path. Each person has different circumstances, challenges, and timing. Yet attachment to validation makes us believe that success should look the same for everyone. This mindset diminishes the value of our personal growth and blinds us to the lessons and joys embedded in our own experiences. Gratitude for what we have accomplished is replaced by anxiety over what we have yet to attain. Third, attachment to external validation distracts us from internal growth. Instead of focusing on self-improvement, wisdom, and emotional resilience, we prioritize fleeting recognition. This external focus leads to a fragile sense of self, where our confidence is dictated by external approval rather than inner stability. When validation is not received, self-worth diminishes, and when it is gained, it only provides temporary satisfaction before the need for more arises. The mind becomes restless, constantly seeking affirmation rather than cultivating inner peace. Rather than measuring life through the achievements and approval of others, we should focus on personal growth and self-betterment. True fulfillment comes not from external applause but from developing qualities like mindfulness, self-awareness, and contentment. By letting go of attachment to validation, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and rediscover a sense of wholeness that is independent of external circumstances. The path to true peace lies in nurturing internal stability rather than chasing external approval. Buddhist practices to cultivate inner peace. 1. Vipassana meditation, observing without judgment. Vipassana meditation, also known as insight meditation, is a powerful practice that fosters self-awareness by cultivating an ability to observe thoughts without judgment. Unlike other forms of meditation that focus on relaxation or visualization, Vipassana is centered on direct experience, enabling practitioners to see their mental and emotional patterns with clarity. By developing this skill, individuals can recognize when they are engaging in comparisons with others and gradually learn to release these thoughts instead of becoming entangled in them. The fundamental principle of Vipassana is observation without attachment. In everyday life, our minds are constantly occupied with thoughts, many of which revolve around self-evaluation in relation to others. We judge ourselves based on societal expectations, personal achievements, and external validation, often leading to dissatisfaction. Vipassana teaches that these thoughts are transient. Much like passing clouds in the sky, they arise, linger momentarily, and then dissipate, unless we attach to them. By observing thoughts objectively, without labeling them as good or bad, we cultivate detachment, reducing their control over our emotional state. Practicing Vipassana begins with finding a quiet, undisturbed space where one can sit comfortably. The posture should be stable but relaxed, allowing for prolonged periods of stillness. The practitioner directs attention to the breath, noticing its natural rhythm without attempting to alter it. This focus serves as an anchor, preventing the mind from wandering excessively. However, distractions inevitably arise, and this is where the true practice begins. Instead of suppressing thoughts, Vipassana encourages observing them as they surface. Whether they pertain to past regrets, future anxieties, or self-comparisons, the key is to acknowledge them without getting drawn in. When thoughts of comparison emerge, it is crucial to recognize them without self-criticism. A common mistake is feeling frustrated for having such thoughts, which only reinforces their power. Instead, one should note their presence, perhaps silently labeling them as comparison or judgment, and then gently redirect attention back to the breath. This practice develops mental discipline and strengthens the ability to detach from harmful thought patterns. Over time, practitioners become more aware of how frequently they engage in comparison, gaining insight into the triggers that fuel these tendencies. The effects of Vipassana extend beyond meditation sessions. gradually reshaping the way individuals interact with their thoughts throughout the day. As awareness deepens, one becomes less reactive, recognizing that comparisons are conditioned habits rather than absolute truths. Instead of being consumed by envy or inadequacy, there is a growing sense of acceptance and equanimity. The mind learns to rest in the present rather than fluctuating between the past and future. Ultimately, Vipassana meditation fosters a profound inner stability, allowing individuals to break free from the endless cycle of self-judgment and external validation. By embracing observation without attachment, one discovers a deeper sense of peace and self-acceptance that is independent of external circumstances. 2. Mindfulness, sati, living in the present. Mindfulness, sati, is the practice of being fully present in each moment. Cultivating awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and actions without distraction. It is the ability to experience life as it unfolds rather than being caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. By practicing mindfulness, we shift our attention away from external comparisons and instead focus on our personal journey, fostering a deeper connection with ourselves and our surroundings. One of the most significant benefits of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress and anxiety. Much of our suffering arises from mental rumination, constantly replaying past events or anticipating future challenges. When we compare ourselves to others, our minds are often preoccupied with thoughts of inadequacy or a sense of falling behind. Mindfulness interrupts this cycle by bringing our attention back to the present moment. Through conscious breathing, body awareness, or mindful observation of our surroundings, we train the mind to remain anchored in reality rather than lost in self-doubt and external validation. Beyond reducing stress, mindfulness encourages a greater appreciation for our personal journey. In a world where achievements are often measured against societal standards, it is easy to overlook our own growth. By practicing mindfulness, we develop the ability to recognize and celebrate small victories, whether they are moments of clarity, emotional resilience, or acts of kindness. This shift in perspective helps us embrace life as an evolving process rather than a race toward external success. Additionally, mindfulness nurtures self-acceptance and gratitude. When we observe our thoughts without judgment, we become less critical of ourselves. Instead of resisting or denying our emotions, we learn to acknowledge them with kindness and understanding. This practice fosters self-compassion, allowing us to let go of unrealistic expectations and embrace our imperfections. Gratitude naturally arises as we become more attuned to the present, appreciating the simple joys and blessings that often go unnoticed. By integrating mindfulness into daily life, we cultivate a profound sense of inner peace, whether through mindful eating, walking, or simply pausing to take a deep breath. Every act of mindfulness strengthens our ability to remain centered. Over time, we become less influenced by comparisons and more connected to our own experiences. Rather than seeking fulfillment through external validation, we discover that true contentment lies in being fully present, engaged, and appreciative of the life we are living. 3. Contentment, santosa, appreciating what we have. True happiness does not come from acquiring more but from being content with what we already have. The Buddhist principle of tritak, santosa, emphasizes that suffering arises from an endless craving for more, driven by the illusion that fulfillment is found in external achievements. This constant desire creates a cycle of dissatisfaction, where no accomplishment ever feels enough. As the mind continuously shifts its focus to the next goal, the next possession, or the next milestone, instead of appreciating the present moment, we are conditioned to believe that happiness is always just beyond our reach. Gratitude is the key to breaking free from this cycle, shifting our perspective from scarcity to abundance. One effective way to cultivate gratitude is by keeping a daily gratitude journal. Writing down even small things that bring joy, such as a kind gesture, a peaceful moment, or a personal achievement, trains the mind to recognize and appreciate the positives in life. This practice helps redirect our focus away from what we lack and toward what we already possess, fostering a deeper sense of contentment. Another important step is consciously shifting our attention from what we are missing to what we have. Modern society constantly bombards us with messages that we need more success, more wealth, more recognition. This mindset fuels comparison and dissatisfaction. By actively acknowledging the blessings in our lives, whether material or emotional, we cultivate a mindset of sufficiency rather than deficiency. This shift in perception allows us to find joy in simple moments and appreciate the value of what we already own and experience. Finally, celebrating small achievements rather than comparing them to others is essential in nurturing contentment. Often, we downplay our progress because we measure it against external standards. Instead, recognizing and honoring personal growth, no matter how minor, reinforces a sense of fulfillment. When we detach happiness from external validation and cultivate gratitude for our own journey, we discover that contentment is not about having more but about appreciating what is already present. This realization leads to inner peace, reducing the constant craving that fuels dissatisfaction. 4. The Noble Eightfold Path, a guide to inner growth. The Noble Eightfold Path serves as a practical and holistic guide to inner growth, offering a way to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. By integrating these principles into daily life, individuals can free themselves from the suffering caused by comparison, attachment, and external validation, ultimately fostering a deeper sense of fulfillment and inner peace. Right view is the foundation of this path, emphasizing the understanding that suffering often arises from comparison. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, we create unnecessary dissatisfaction. Recognizing this pattern allows us to shift our perspective and focus on our own progress instead of external achievements. Right intention builds upon this by encouraging self-compassion and self-awareness. Instead of striving for validation, we cultivate kindness towards ourselves and set intentions that align with personal growth rather than competition. Right speech involves the conscious use of language to uplift rather than diminish. The words we speak, both to ourselves and others, shape our mindset. Engaging in self-criticism or negative talk reinforces insecurity, while practicing affirming and supportive speech nurtures confidence and acceptance. Right action extends this principle into behavior, guiding us to engage in actions that reflect inner peace. When we act in ways that align with our values, we strengthen our sense of integrity and authenticity, reducing the tendency to seek approval from others. Right livelihood encourages choosing work that aligns with our beliefs and ethics. In a world driven by material success, it is easy to become trapped in careers that prioritize wealth over well-being. Pursuing a livelihood that resonates with our values fosters long-term satisfaction. Right effort reinforces the commitment to self-improvement rather than external validation. True growth comes from within, requiring conscious effort to cultivate discipline, resilience, and emotional stability rather than relying on societal recognition. Right mindfulness teaches us to stay present and focused on our own path. Mindfulness helps us detach from distractions, including comparisons, allowing us to fully engage with our experiences. Finally, right concentration strengthens the ability to train the mind to remain steady and peaceful. A well-focused mind is less susceptible to the turmoil of external pressures, enabling a deeper state of inner contentment. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, individuals can cultivate a life rooted in wisdom, balance, and self-acceptance, ultimately freeing themselves from the suffering that arises from comparison and attachment. Practical steps to shift focus from others to yourself. Shifting focus from others to oneself requires conscious effort and consistent practice. One of the most crucial steps is letting go of the need for external validation. Many people tie their self-worth to approval from others, but true confidence comes from within. It is essential to ask oneself, do I genuinely need others' recognition to feel good about myself? If the answer is yes, it may be time to develop self-acceptance. Practicing self-validation through reflection and self-compassion allows individuals to recognize their own progress and worth without relying on external opinions. By learning to trust oneself, the constant need for approval gradually diminishes. A powerful tool in this process is daily meditation. Allocating at least 5 minutes each day to meditation helps develop self-awareness and detachment from comparison-driven thoughts. Meditation trains the mind to observe thoughts without attachment, enabling individuals to recognize when they are caught in the cycle of comparison and gently redirect their focus. This practice fosters a sense of inner peace, making it easier to appreciate one's own path rather than measuring it against others. Another vital mindset shift is viewing life as a journey, not a competition. Every person has a unique path shaped by different experiences, circumstances, and timing. Constantly comparing achievements with others overlooks this individuality and breeds unnecessary anxiety. Instead, focusing on personal growth allows one to cultivate self-improvement without feeling pressured to match someone else's progress. The only meaningful competition should be with one's past self, striving for continuous personal development. Practicing gratitude is another effective way to cultivate contentment and reduce comparison. Writing down 3 things to be grateful for each day helps shift perspective from scarcity to abundance. When individuals focus on what they have rather than what they lack, they begin to appreciate their own journey without being distracted by external benchmarks. Lastly, limiting social media consumption is crucial. Social media often presents curated versions of reality, where people showcase only their highlights while concealing their struggles. Comparing real life to these idealized portrayals creates unrealistic expectations and fuels dissatisfaction. Reducing screen time and prioritizing real-life experiences help break this illusion, allowing individuals to be present and engaged in their own lives. Ultimately, true happiness comes from within. Letting go of comparison, cultivating mindfulness, and embracing one's own journey leads to genuine fulfillment. By focusing on self-growth rather than external validation, individuals can develop a lasting sense of inner peace and contentment.